Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to show you guys the best settings to use to have the best aim possible, and as well, I want to give you guys 3 specific tips that you guys can use to improve your aim, so definitely stay to the end of the video because these tips are some of the best tips and something that I use every single game that allows me to hit so many more shots against other players, and it makes me extremely accurate, so definitely stay to the end of the video because these tips are essential. And real quick, before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. I give away 2,000 V-Bucks every single Friday. So if you guys want to take part in this giveaway and win some free V-Bucks, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do turn on post notifications so you guys get notified for every single new video and when I announce the winners. And lastly, leave a comment down below of either your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the next giveaway. And lastly, make sure you guys do support me in the item shop. All you guys have to do is go down to the bottom right, click on support a creator, type in creator code YoungHumor, and you guys will have me added and supported as a creator in the item shop. And alright guys, let's get to the video. Alright, so in this video, like I said, I want to show you guys the best settings to use to improve your aim, and as well specifically, I really want to give you guys 3 of my best tips, 3 to 4 of my best tips to improve your aim, and you always want to make sure you're doing these 4 things, otherwise you're going to be missing a lot of shots, and it's going to help you improve your aim tremendously, so you definitely want to stay for the tips. So here, going into my settings, I want to show you guys the sensitivities that I have. And so my building sensitivity is a 2.1 and my editing sensitivity is a 2.2, and I have a 45% for my horizontal speed and a 44% for my vertical speed. Now I think this sensitivity is very good for a lot of reasons. I think if you want to have the best aim possible, I think these settings are very good. And if you think the building and editing sensitivity is a little bit too high, of course you can lower it down. You can lower it down to like a 2.0 and a 2.1, just whatever you think works the best. I really like the sensitivity a lot because I feel like I have a ton of control over my builds, but at the same time, if I need to build fast, I feel like I'm able to. And for my ADS sensitivity, so when you're aiming down your sights, I have 11% and a 10% I play on a just slightly higher of AX sensitivity, just because I feel like I need that little bit extra speed when I'm being close range with my shotgun. It helps me hit a lot more charge shots when I'm aiming down my sights. And I have a 0.04 look damping time, which helps me a lot when it comes to hitting long range shots. I feel like I have way more control over how I'm aiming, and I do play an 11% and 11% for my dead zones. I think I played on a 9% for my look, but I had a little bit of stick drift, so I moved it up to an 11, so 11, and then I have the foot controller setting. I have that off, and you don't want to have that because it adds input delay. So those are the settings I think are the best for improving your aim. Now I want to give you guys some very good tips, and if you want to hit way more shots, you definitely want to follow these tips. So the first tip that you want to do is if you want to hit more shots, I think it's really important that you always aim for the chest, because as I just showed here, as you can see, when you look at the hitboxes, it's much more difficult to hit a headshot, and at the same time that you're not going to get any aim assist slowdown unless you're right over the target, meaning it's going to be so much more effective to aim for the chest always, just because you get your aim assist lock on a lot faster, and at the same time when you're aiming against the other player, you have a much bigger target area to hit. So I think when you're aiming, you always want to aim for the chest, and at the same time, because of the recoil with a lot of weapons, if you aim for a dead center in the chest, a lot of the times, as you can see, I'm aiming right at the chest. Because of the recoil, a lot of times it'll even allow you to get headshots, so that's why you always want to aim for the chest as opposed to any other part of the body when you're shooting at it, just because you have a bigger chance of hitting the other shot. And of course, when you're shooting your shotgun, you're going to be able to hit way more pellets as well because you have a bigger surface area to hit. So that's why it's essential for always aiming with the chest with any weapons, because you're going to be able to hit way more shots. There's a bigger surface area for you to hit, and at the same time, you're going to have the most aim assist on the other player. And if you aim for dead center in the chest, a lot of the times, because of the recoil, as I mentioned with the SMG and the AR, A lot of the times, because of the recoil, if you aim for dead center in the chest, you're going to be able to hit a lot of headshots because the recoil is going to throw the gun up a little bit, and it's going to allow you to get a lot of headshots out on another player. So that's why aiming for the chest is essentially the best place to aim for if you want to hit as many shots as you possibly can and have the best aim assist off on the other player. So always keep that in mind when you are looking to shoot other players. The chest, the middle of it, is exactly the place that you want to aim at. So going into my next tip, I think is very important as well. I did mention this a couple of times in a previous video, but this is extremely important as well, especially for you players who play on linear settings, which I know is the majority of players because I did a poll not too long ago, and most of you guys do play on linear settings, which I do as well. And when you're playing on linear settings, of course, this is going to work for exponential as well. But if you want to improve your aim just a lot, what you want to do is it's very difficult when you play on linear settings to make those small analog stick adjustments. So what you want to do instead is you want to use your movement to help you aim, which is going to be your left stick. So as you can see, it's a lot easier to make just those small adjustments left to right when you're moving your character versus trying to use it when you're trying to aim your crosshair with just the right stick alone. So when you're aiming from distances, it is very important that you always, if you're just slightly off of the target, it's going to be much more beneficial to just slide your player over to the left or right than trying to adjust your aim very slightly with your right analog stick, because unless you play on a very low sensitivity, it's going to be very difficult to be able to make those small adjustments with only your right stick alone. That's why I think if you're just off center of the other player, I think it's significantly better and also significantly more accurate to aim on the other player using your movement, and I think that is going to be the best way to aim. And I think it's very important that when you're aiming, especially from range, I do this all the time, is I use my right stick and my left analog stick at the same time. I'm almost always moving, because in this game, after the first shot, you don't have that first shot accuracy, or that perfect 100% first shot accuracy anymore. So when you're aiming from range after that first shot, I think it's really important to use your movement and also use your right analog stick as well to hit more shots. And I think this is important from range, but I also do this a lot when it comes to close range, because unless you play on mouse and keyboard, it's going to be very difficult to just have the best aim possible. If you're only using your right analog stick, you're going to find it very difficult to hit a lot of shots out on the other player, and that is just going to be because it's very difficult to be able to make those small analog stick adjustments that you need to have for the good aim. It's going to be very hard to do that on linear settings, so you always want to be moving when you're aiming. It's going to help you hit way more shots. So when you're aiming at close range, long range, aiming down your sights, whatever the case may be, you always want to be moving your character, because that's going to help you line up your shots a lot easier versus if you're only standing still. And I think this is exactly true when it comes to edits as well, just because on linear settings it's harder to make those small analog stick adjustments. So if you're editing or aiming, I think using your movement as well to help you edit and aim is going to be very good as well. And so another tip I want to talk about is something that's also extremely important that I see a lot of players don't do as well, and that's going to be having the best crosshair placement possible. So when you're rounding corners, when you go for edits, so if you're in buildings or maybe you're just running around going for quick edits, it's very important that you want to have the best crosshair placement possible, meaning that when you're rounding a corner or you're going for an edit, that once you finish off the edit or if you're going around the corner, you want to have that crosshair placement at exactly that chest level. So as soon as you round that corner, as soon as you go for the edit, you're going to be able to have the crosshair right on the other player, so you don't have to go for a flick shot or anything like that, and that you're going to be able to hit way more shots. It's going to be higher damage shots, and it's going to be it's going to be a lot more simple to hit your shots just because you're finishing off the edit immediately on the other player. So this is a very essential tip if you want to be very accurate at this game. And that's also why I play on the building and editing sensitivity that I do, because I feel like on this sensitivity I have a lot of control, and I don't feel like I'm overcorrecting. I don't feel like I'm overshooting my edits or my shots. So that's why I think this editing sensitivity and building is very good. But essentially, you just want to remember to have the best crosshair placement you possibly can when you're rounding corners and you're going for edits. Of course, not every single gunfight you're going to be able to do this, but as much as possible, you want to have the best crosshair placement possible. So those are going to be my best tips that I can give, and also the best settings that I use when it comes to having the best aim possible. So if you're looking to improve your aim, hopefully you guys watch this entire video, because these are the best tips. And if you use all these tips, I guarantee your aim is going to improve. You just have to remember to to apply them in your games. So with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do hit that like button. Make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Hit that notification bell so you guys get notified for every single new upload. And as well, I do live stream every single day here on this channel at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It was pretty crazy. We ended up getting over 9,000 viewers as of just yesterday. So definitely come by my live streams, hit the notification bell because there's a ton of you guys and it is a lot of fun. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and alright guys, I'll see you next video.